everyone. He is equal to everyone. But in the next line, he says, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya. But who renders devotional service unto me is my friend. And what kind of friendship Krishna has with his devotee, that is revealed, that is the most confidential part of Bhagavad Gita. The exclusive relationship that Krishna has with his devotee and the favor which Krishna bestows to his devotee, that is the most confidential part of Bhagavad Gita, which is revealed in this section. And Krishna says that once a devotee is always a devotee. Even if he performs any abominable activity by occurrence or by accident, he is still to be considered as saintly person. And this exclusivity of friendship with Krishna, Krishna says, is available for everyone. There is no disqualification. Even if one is considered to be in the lower section of life. Last verse that we discussed, that Mam hi partha vyapashritya ye api papsyoniya striyo vaishyos tata shudra tepi yanti param gati. Everyone can come to the perfection point of becoming my pure devotee, even if they are in the body of striya. Many times people complain, see, I am in this body. How can I perform devotional service? Krishna says, no, there is no disqualification. Whether you are striya, whether you are in the female body, or even if you are a Vaishya, Vaishya is not a high class. Many times, in our society, in our Indian society, only the Brahmanas were considered to be having these special privileges. But see, 5,000 years back, Krishna is dismissing that. He said, even if you are not Brahmana, even if you are not Kshatriya, but still you have all the opportunity to perfect your life by becoming my devotee. Striyo Vaishyas tata Shudra, even if you are in an abominable state of the lower rung of the social order, even if you are Shudra, Tepi Yanti Paramgati, still you have all the facility or opportunity to attain the highest position. That is the favor, isn't it? So we will take today's verse. This is 33rd verse. But before that, we will have invocation. Because without the mercy of the Lord, without the blessings, we cannot have access and understanding to this principles of Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sadivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. So Krishna is giving the super excellent position of one who is performing devotional penance. Before that, he has analyzed there are many classes of worshippers who worship in many different ways. There are the Duratmas. Who are the Duratmas? In the 11th verse, he said, Mogasha, Moga Karmana, Moga Jnana Vichetasha. Those whose knowledge has been taken away by illusion. Then he says that those who are Mahatmas, who are Mahatma, Mahatmanas Mam Partha, Devim Prakriti Mashrita. Those who take exclusive shelter of. Those who do not take exclusive shelter, they are Mogasha. Those who are bewildered. And then among the various worshippers, there are those who worship him with Ekatvena, considering themselves to be the supreme. They are the lowest. Then those who consider the universal form, the universe to be the supreme Lord, that is Vishwatomukham, and those who are the worshippers of the demigod. So as compared to all this, their worship is very difficult and cumbersome. And what is the result? Antavanta imete alpa chetasa. It is short-lived. Whatever benedictions that you get from the demigods, it is temporary. It is not permanent. It is only pertaining to the body. It cannot give us the ultimate benefit. And on the other hand, Krishna is explaining in this final section from verse number 26 to 34. Maybe we will complete this chapter today. So Krishna is talking about the glories of devotional service. And he is saying that even how the process of worship to the Supreme Lord is simple. Yes, by offering a flower, by offering a fruit and water and leaf. Which leaf? Tulsi leaf. Tulsi leaf. So Krishna can be satisfied. We went to Govardhan. When the Brajvasis were making an offering to Govardhan, whatever they were bringing, Govardhan was devouring. And whatever they brought, everything was finished. And then finally, what Krishna placed at Govardhan's feet is Tulsi Devi. And he said, be satisfied. And Govardhan was satisfied. So this is the minimum effort that one needs to make. The process is very simple. But the result is super excellent. One gets the highest benefit. So everyone is having equal opportunity to perform devotional service or worship to the Supreme Lord. No one is disqualified. That is, even if one has some defect, Krishna is removing those defects by inviting him. So he says that even those who are in the lower status of social life, they are most welcome to achieve perfection. What about them? If those who are in abominable condition, to them they can achieve perfection. Those who are Striyo, Vaishyos, Tata Shudra, Tepi Yanti Param Gati, they can also achieve perfection. So what about others? Those who are well placed or those who are rightly placed? This is the verse, 33rd verse. He says, Kim Punar Brahmana Punya Bhaktya Rajarishi Astatha Anityam Sukham Lokam इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् किं पुनर्ब्रह्मणा पुण्या भक्त्या राजऋषयस्तथा अनित्यम सुखम लोकम इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् किं पुनर्ब्रह्मणा पुण्या भक्त्या राजऋषयस्तथा अनित्यम सुखम लोकम इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् recite. You should all be having now the penchant to recite after coming so many, classes. What is the difficulty? Yes, recite. Wait, Devansh, wait. You should hear first. See, knowledge, how one gets knowledge? By hearing. One who is a listener can receive knowledge. One who speaks too much will not receive it. Okay, madam, go ahead. Kim punar brahmana punya. See, read from the word meaning, na? Just simple. Bhakta Raja Rishaya Tatha. Bhakta Raja Rishayas Tatha Anityama Sukham Lokam Imam Prapya Bhajasvama. Yes. Who else? Okay, go ahead. Kim Punar Brahmana Punya. Here, na. This is Haribol Haribol. Wait. You should first hear. I recited 3 times, but you are not hearing. You are just wanting to recite. See how it has to be recited. Kim Punar Brahmana Punya. हत्या राजऋषयस्तथा अनित्यम सुखम लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भज now recite. Kim Punarbrahmana Punya. Yes, you recite. You recite, don't waste time. Good. Kim Punarbrahmana Punya. तथा सुखम Brahma iti janati so Brahmana. Can you find a Brahmana? Can you find one and show me one? Not possible. They are all Brahmana in name only. Or they are only Brahmana in show only. So one who has realized real mind, such a person is fit to be a Brahman. So Krishna is talking about such Brahmana, not the uh, fake Brahmana or a pseudo Brahmana. So Krishna says, Kim Punar Brahmana and Punya. Punya means those who have very pious credits. Who have pious credits? Those who are performing always welfare of others. Selfless people. Nishkam means. Nishkam. And Bhaktya. So there are various categories Krishna is speaking. First is the Brahmana, who is self-realized, a spiritual person. Then the other is Punya, those who always performs meritorious activities, who does not perform any sinful activity, pious person. Then higher than that is Bhaktya. Bhaktya means Krishna's devotees. And a Raja Rishi. Raja Rishi. Rishi means one who is renounced. One who has controlled his senses. That a person is Rishi. Not who is having big hairs, matted hairs, and big beard is a Rishi. One who has all complete control over his senses. Such a person is called Rishi. And Raj Rishi, Raja means one who is the king. So combining the word Raja and Rishi, one who is a king also, but he has the qualities of Rishi also. So such a person is called Raj Rishi. So that is the ideal monarch. He combines both the quality. Okay, that is name, but here the quality. Good. So Raj Rishi means one who has the kingly person, who is the chief of the administration, and he is the having the quality of a rishi. He is renounced, he is detached. So Krishna is speaking, what to speak of such personalities who are Brahmanas, Punya, Bhaktya, and Rajarishis. But even if for all, what they have to do, if they have come into this material world, anityam, what is the nature of this material creation? It is not nityam. It is not eternal. It is anityam. Anityam means it is temporary. It is subject to creation and annihilation or destruction. It is complete. It is always transforming. It is always changing. It is changing. Every moment it is changing. That which is changing, it is temporary. So the first understanding Krishna gives for us to accept is this world is anitya, temporary. That which is always changing, that which is temporary, any settlement that you want to have permanent will be frustrated. It will not be successful. Like if you have a square hole, you have seen people playing billiards. So what they do? They have a round ball. And how is the hole in the table? Round. Unless or until the hole in the table is round, the ball will not enter the hole. But in the billiards table, if instead of having a round hole, you have a square hole, and you keep striking, what will happen? Will you pot the ball? You cannot. Or if you are playing carom board, same thing. So Krishna is saying here that this world, Krishna is giving the reality of this world. What is the reality of this world? It is temporary. It is not mithya. It is not illusion. Some people who are frustrated, ultimately you have heard that when you don't get the grapes the grapes are sour. No. The grapes are there, but the grapes are not sweet for everyone. It is only for few who have understood that this world is anityam. And not only it is anityam, it is asukham. Asukham means, huh? But Prabhupada, full of miseries. If you go to the library, what do you find? Books. Books. So it is called Vichale Pustakale. Because you get so many books. In the library, if you go and ask medicines, so what the librarian will tell you? That you have come to the wrong place. You have to go to the market, find a medicine shop, and then you can get some medicines. So the medicine shop, you will not find books. And in the bookshop, you will not find medicines. So that place which is temporary and which is full of miseries, everyone is trying to find what? Happiness. What will be the result? What will be the outcome? Only frustration. Only frustration. So Krishna is revealing here. This is the most confidential knowledge, that this place is anityam, it is temporary, it is transitory. It is ever changing, it is constantly changing. And this is the place of suffering. This is the place of miseries. Those who have to be punished, they are sent here. Like somebody wants to go into the jail and he wants to have a pleasurable life. Is it possible? It is not possible. Then what to do? We have been somehow placed here. We have been pushed here. We have been forced here. So Krishna does not just say that it is anityam and asukham, that you have come here, you just suffer and rot. He says, no. What you have to do when you have been pushed in such a situation, imam prapasya, if you have come into this situation, what you have to do? Bhajasva mam. You have to perform my devotional service, loving devotional service. If you perform loving devotional service unto me, what I will do? I will take the responsibility of releasing you from this miserable temporary world. So this is very, very important verse. One of the most important verse of Bhagavad Gita, which gives us the nomenclature of this material world. What is the nature of this material world? It is transitory, it is impermanent, and it is full of miseries. Padam padam yad vigadam na tesham. This is a place, at every step there is danger. Every step there is going to be miseries. So how to be free from miseries? There is one solution. What is the solution? To worship Krishna. Imam prapasya bhajas. Simple solution. Who accept this solution, they are happy. Can you experience what is happiness? You experienced in the yatra? How were your 3 days? Was there any misery? Huh? You were all being, pulled in a spiritual wave. कभी आप जीवन में इतने सवेरे उठते थे? नहीं उठते, और कभी इतनी जल्दी सोते भी नहीं होगे। अरे आप सुनो तो सही ना, आप गई थी? आप नहीं गई थी ना? सुनो, इसीलिए those people, you got some spiritual experience, you got a first hand spiritual experience. What is spiritual life? You got a glimpse of it. What is spiritual world? You got a glimpse of it. And what is spiritual life and what devotees do. So unless and until one has that spiritual experience, one cannot be free from the material experience. So Krishna is revealing here in this section of Bhagavad Gita that in this material world, there is not even an iota of happiness possible. Because it's a place of suffering. This is dukhalayam. As I said, in the pustakale, you will get pustak. In the other ale, what are the other ale? Bhojan ale. What you will get? Bhojan. Shayan ale, you will get a place to sleep. So in the same way, in Dukhalayam, what you will receive? Only miseries. The place of suffering and miseries for everyone. But what is the remedy? What is the solution? How to be relieved? Imam prapasya bhajasvama. Those who worship Krishna, those who perform devotional service to Krishna, Krishna frees them from all points of suffering. That is what Krishna is speaking. Even if he performs most abominable activity that we read in the previous section, api chetsu duracharo bhajante mamananyava sadhu revasa mantavya samyak vyavasthita. What is the samyak vyavasthita? What is he rightly situated? The rightly situation is that is bhajasvama. One is performing bhajan. For him, this world will become a place of happiness. It will be transformed. I'll give you an example. A simple example that you experience every day life. You have the electrical energy. With the same electrical energy, in winter you use it for heating, and it gives you in the summer you use it for cooling. So this material lies is for Krishna's worship and devotion experiences the spiritual pleasure, the joy. So how much more this is so? See the translation of the righteous Brahmanas. Prabhupada is using this adjective righteous Brahmana, who is realized Brahmana, not a fake Brahmana. Fake Brahmana is only interested in asking money. No more he knows. He is just looking at how he can get more money, how he can get more samagri. Yajman is always desiring and demanding. Nothing else he knows. We went there in the Dham also, we said some Brahmana, they are just asking money. And when you have the Supreme Lord, why you were asking? Were we asking anywhere? We were getting everything what we required. It is bestowed by Krishna. So that is the righteous Brahmana, who is an actual Brahmana. The devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Very simple principle and formula. To the extent we are engaged in devotional service, to that extent one is free from miseries. To the extent he is far from devotional service, to the extent his life will be filled with miseries. Choice is ours, what we want. If your life is 1 hour of devotional service, you get 1% free from miseries. You cannot cheat Krishna by giving him 1% and desiring and demanding 100%. This is what we normally try to do. We try to give him 1% and we want more than 100%. It will never happen. Anityam asukham lokam imam prapasya bhajasvama. To the extent one is performing bhajan, one can be free from all onslaughts of material miseries. The big topic. Material miseries are of 3 types. It is called Adi Bhautik. Adi Bhautik means miseries which is coming from the different living entities. What are the different living entities? Like you are sleeping and a mosquito comes and bites you. What harm have you done? You lose your sleep. And not only you lose your sleep, you can be infected by dengue or many other transmittable disease. So there are so many other living entities. Terrorist attack, train accident, so many miseries. There is no fault on the person who is receiving the repercussion, but it is caused by others. You are traveling on the road and someone comes and hits your car from back. What can you do? You are put in the miserable. So miseries which are caused by other living entities. This is called Adi Bhautik. Then there is Adi Daivik. Miseries which are caused by supernatural powers. What are the supernatural powers? Like you have excessive heat. When there is excessive heat, what is our efficiency? We cannot go out. We cannot do any proper service. Many times people complain, last night I did not have sleep. Why? Because it was very hot. Then what? So I'm feeling tired, fatigue. So many diseases are there, so many ailments are there. So it is controlled by the demigods, the supernatural powers. There are earthquakes, then there are the cyclonic effects. Just recently in India, there was a cyclone 2 days back. One of our devotee was to go back to Cuttack. He had to wait for one day to clear the cyclone. Cyclone was there or something? Cyclone was there. Yeah. So these are all natural disaster as we call it. So there is mass suffering. Now winters will come, there will be suffering. When winter comes, then there is suffering. When summer comes, there is suffering. When rain comes, there is suffering. It's suffering at every step. So this is all Adi Devi. And there is Adhyatmika suffering. Adhyatmika suffering means suffering which is coming from one's own body and mind. This is where is the maximum suffering coming from? What is the source of our suffering? Huh? Have we ever analyzed? What is the principal source of our suffering? Huh? Clear? Huh?
From our own thinking.
Yes, from our negative thoughts. Huh? From our uncontrolled mind. It is called Adhyatmika. So is there anyone in this creation who is freed from these three kinds of suffering? And still if you ask them, how are you? And what he says? Fine, thank you. So this is the response of a person who is in knowledge? No. A person who is in deep ignorance. He is in sleep. Why? Because this is Asukham Lokam. This is a place of perpetual suffering. Birth means suffering. Death is suffering. And between birth and death, there is old age and disease. Is also a state of suffering. There is constant flux of suffering. And still the person is saying that I am happy or I want to be happy. The only source of happiness is the Supreme Lord. If one connects to Him, then his miseries can be mitigated and his happiness can be initiated. Okay, so let us see the purport. In this material world, there are classifications of people, right? There are various classes of men. Every person is unique and different. After all, this world is not a happy place for anyone. It is clearly stated here, Anityam, Asukham Lokam. So Krishna clarifies, this is not a place of illusion also. Many impersonalists, Ekatvena, those who are the worshippers of themselves, the monist, they claim that this place, because they know they cannot be happy here, they have to suffer, so say this place is illusion. Then your suffering is also illusion. But suffering is real. So how can illusion create real suffering? Not possible. So this is anityam. This material creation is constantly changing. It is temporary. It is impermanent. Not habitable for any sane gentleman. The world is declared by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be temporary and full of miseries. So those who are faithful and those who are pure person, what they will do? They will accept the statement of the Supreme Lord and apply it. And what will be the result? That they will be gradually become freed from sufferings. And those who do not accept and those who do not apply, they try to refute, or resist or challenge. What will be the result? Their suffering will only increase every day. Some philosophers, especially Mayavadi philosophers, say that this world is false. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. No, this place is not Mithya, but this place is Anityam. It is Anityam. But we understand from Bhagavad Gita that this world is not false, it is temporary. The same thing, Anityam. There is a difference between temporary and false. The world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. What is that eternal world? The spiritual world. We went to the replica of the spiritual world. Like if you have to go to America, first where do you go? You go to America, what do you have to get? Huh? What? Visa. Where do you get the visa? Where do you get the visa? Embassy. So what is embassy? Embassy is a replica. It has representation of the American land here in India. So same way, we went to the spiritual world. How? By going to the replica of the spiritual world, which is here in this material world. There is a difference between temporary and false. The world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. That is the spiritual world. That means it is Shashvat. This is Anitya, and that world is Shashvat. It is eternal. This world is miserable, but the other world is eternal and blissful. It is Sat, Chit, and Anand. Sat means it is eternal. Chit means it is full of knowledge. And Anand means which is the place of bliss. So, we want to experience, because the living entity is spiritual, it is a soul, so it will always seek pleasure. It will never seek miseries. Has anyone gone and prayed to the Lord that please give me some miseries? Please give me some sufferings? Has anyone desired? But it comes on its own. It comes. And can anyone stop it? Why? Because this is the nature of this material world. It will come. Arjuna was born in a saintly royal family. To him also the Lord says, take to my devotional service and come quickly back to Godhead. Imam prapasya bhajasvamam. Back home. No one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bosom, you understand? What is bosom? You know, mothers, they have bosom. Their chest. When they love their baby, where do they place the baby? At their bosom. That is, there it is called Ankaya. There's one glorification of Govardhan. Namo Vrindavanam Ankaya. Ank means in the lap. Very close to the heart. Very close to the chest. So Prabhupada is saying everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can be eternally happy. To the extent one is connected and close to the Supreme Lord, one is free from all kind of miseries and sufferings. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all the problems of all classes of men can be solved. Everyone should therefore take to Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. So this is a very simple but the super excellent solution for all kinds of miseries for all classes of men and women. What is that? To perform devotional service. Why devotional service is so special? Why there is so much emphasis on devotional service? You see, please try to understand. The understanding of bhajan is devotional service. It is not just devotion, it is service. What it means to be in service? What it means to perform service? We hardly perform service. We are in the mood of being the Swami. You understand? There are two moods. One is the mood of master. That is Swami mood. And the other is the mood of service, or which is called the servant mood. And there is a gulf of difference. What is the difference? What is the difference? This is to be understood very clearly. Because miseries, just by performing Devotion, according to our own whims and fancies, will not release you from miseries. So what one has to do? One has to perform bhajan. One has to perform devotional service. Please understand this. Because unless until one performs service, he cannot be free from suffering. So what is the difference? What is actually service? What will classify one to be performing devotional service? Otherwise, it will not become bhajan. And if it is not bhajan, then there will not be any relief. And most of the people do not accept this principle. They try to perform devotion according to their own ideas or according to their own likings. Then it does not qualify to become bhajan. So what is service or bhajan? Okay, but still not very clear. What does service mean? A little louder. Surrendering to? So how can we surrender to Supreme Lord? He will, manifest himself before us, and then we will surrender. No, no. Yes, simply following the instruction of one who is our authority. That is bhajan. Otherwise, it is not bhajan. It is manoranjan. If you do manoranjan, then you will not be free from suffering. In devotional activity also, what we pick up, our mind is very smart. It is very crooked. It is not smart, it is very crooked. And it is very degraded. It will only pick up where he will enjoy sense gratification. So that manoranjan is not going to release us from miseries. What one has to do? One has to follow the instructions. To the extent we are following the instructions, to that extent one is getting freed. Why? Because by instruction one is coming under the protection of the spiritual energy. This is the sublime theme of this chapter. Krishna said that Mahatma nastu mam partha devim prakriti ashrita. One who has taken ashray, one who has taken shelter of my spiritual potency. And where is the spiritual potency coming from? From the Mahatmas. Those who are spiritual personalities. So if one takes shelter of such spiritualist, then one is becoming free from the suffering of material wishes. So that is bhajan. And not bhajan that you pick up the kartal and mridanga and you start singing. That is also one external form of bhajan. But that is not the bhajan which will relieve you from suffering. Suffering will only be freed when you are following the instructions. This is what Prabhupada is saying. That the devotional service, that is why you will see Prabhupada is always writing two aspects, two principles. One is Krishna consciousness and the other is devotional service. So what is Krishna consciousness? Is becoming aware, becoming awakened to who we are and who the Supreme Lord is and what is our connection or relation with him. And there is no limit to it. There is no end to it. And to the extent we are becoming Krishna conscious, what is the principle or goal? That we must perform devotional service. So how Krishna gives protection is through the spiritual potency. And how this spiritual potency is being manifested? Through his representatives, through his beloved devotees. That is why he says, Kim Punar Brahmana Bhaktya. So those who are devotees, what to speak of them? Devotees means what they are performing? Bhajan. If a devotee is not performing bhajan, he is not a devotee, very clearly. He is a pseudo devotee. He is a devotee in name only. He is not a devotee. Without a bhajan, he cannot be a devotee. If there is a doctor who is having only stethoscope and coat, and he is not recovering the patient, what kind of doctor he is? He is a doctor in name only. So such are called Dvija Bandhus. So very important. So there is only one remedy for everyone in this material world, those who are in this state of problem, that they must perform devotional service. And to the extent one is performing devotional service, one will be freed from misery. And how does devotional service begin? By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If one does not chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is not even giving an expression to the Supreme Lord that I want to perform devotional service. What is this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? This is an invitation to the Lord that I want to perform devotional service. Please engage me in devotional service. So unless and until there is calling and crying, there is no question of being granted. So how this devotional service is to be performed? Now the next question comes. That those who are in this material world, this is a place which is temporary and is a place of suffering. And Krishna says the remedy is to perform devotional service. Then the obvious question is how to perform devotional service? What is that devotional service? Yes or no? So that is the next verse. What do I have time? This is the final verse of this chapter. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyadi mam namaskuru आमेवश्यसि युक्तेव आत्मानं मत्परायण मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामेवश्यसि युक्तेव आत्मानं मत्परायण. Okay, recite. Those who did not recite so far, those who have not recited the first verse, hear first, hear. Again, you will commit the same mistake. Don't be in a hurry. Try to receive, first absorb, and then transmit. Recite. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyadi mam namaskuru mame veshyati yuktevam atmanam madparayana. Good, clear. Yes. Others, those who have not recited, recite. This is so glorious that what Krishna is speaking, we are at least trying to recite that. It's so purifying. Wait. Wait. Those who have not recited, recite. Abhinav, recite. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyadi mam namaskuru yuktevam atmanam madparayana. Here, na? You should hear attentively. This is, if you really practice devotional service, you will see all your senses, they will start manifesting their capacity. Your hearing has to be very strong and sharp because the source of knowledge is hearing. But what is the present level? There is so much distraction. We're not able to focus. Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita only once. And whatever Krishna spoke directly entered his heart. And he applied. For us, it may take, I don't know how many classes we are going to have. 700 verses, more than 700 classes, still it will not enter. Why? Because there are so many blockings. So to the extent we have attention and absorption, the message will clearly go into the heart. Otherwise, it will not penetrate. So hear very attentive. Previously, if you see the Gurukul style of teaching, there are no copy pen, notebooks, slates, nothing. The teacher speaks and the student hears. And just by hearing, he memorizes forever. But now, Kali Yuga has a sign. What is the prominent symptom of Kali Yuga? Is forgetfulness. If I ask you 10 days back, this time where you were, you have to scratch your head. You don't know. What you ate, you don't know. So why? Because there is so much of distraction. The mind is so impure, is full of so many material thoughts and desires that it cannot focus. Today, the biggest disease is distraction. One single, what should I say, pandemic is distraction. So in this age of distraction, what we have to learn? We have to learn to hear. A small class. How many are interested in taking this knowledge? Very few. Our spiritual teacher Srila Prabhupada says, when you go to the diamond shop, if you go to the diamond shop, how many customers do you find in a diamond shop? So many? It is always empty. There are no takers. Because people cannot pay the value. That is imitation. If there is someone selling imitation, please hear, don't distract. You tell her to just hear. You are not catching what I am speaking. First hear. If you are selling diamonds, there are very few takers because they cannot pay the value. But if you go to the imitation jewelry, you go to Chandni Chowk, I am coming from there because our Rath Yatra was there. I had to come through metro because it was so crowded. If I would have taken my car, I wouldn't have reached here. It's so crowded. Why? Because everything there is cheap. Wherever there is cheap thing available, there is a crowd. And where there is actually valuable thing, there are no takers. Why? Because they don't have the saying that what is the value that we have to pay? First thing is man mana. That you fix your mind on me. What is the property of the ring? So what we have to do? We have to fix the mind on Krishna. That is a very high level of devotional service. To be always thinking of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna means not that you sit idle and think, अच्छा कृष्ण कैसे दिख रहे हैं, आज उन्होंने कैसे पगड़ी बांधी है, कैसे श्रृंगार किया है. That is also thinking. But thinking of Krishna means thinking of Krishna's interest. What is Krishna's instruction to me? How can I carry out the instructions of Krishna? That is thinking of Krishna. Like you are thinking of your son. So that does not mean that you will not cook. क्या कर रहे थे? मैं तुम्हारे बारे में सोच रहा था. मम्मी भूख लगी है, खाना खिलाओ. वो तो मैंने बनाया नहीं. What kind of thinking it is? Very useless. Thinking means thinking of Krishna's interest, thinking of Krishna's instructions, thinking how to please Krishna, how to carry out the activities in our life that will please Krishna. That is the highest level. Man mana. It is actually mat mana. Mati, you understand? Is our consciousness, our thinking process. It should connect with Krishna. Mat mana. Then bhava mat bhakto. So if one who is always thinking of Krishna, naturally what he becomes? He becomes a devotee of Krishna. Only devotees can think of Krishna. Others are not thinking of Krishna. There are some demoniac also who are thinking of Krishna, like Jarasandha and Kansa. But they are thinking how to kill him. Then he says, Mad Bhakto, become my devotee. Who can think of Krishna? One who is a loving devotee of Krishna. He will always think of Krishna, like Mother Yashoda. She is always thinking of Krishna. Arjuna is thinking of Krishna. So those who are devotees will think of Krishna. And how to become a devotee of Krishna? Now the question is how to become a devotee of Krishna. He says, Madhyaji. Yaji means to worship. Who becomes a devotee of Krishna? One who worships Krishna. Not just by lamp and by incense and by flowers. Again, by following Krishna's instruction. That is the highest form of worship. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, when he's concluding the Bhagavad Gita, he says that one who is studying this Bhagavad Gita, I'll tell you the verse. 70 verse, 18.70. How to worship Krishna? This is 1870. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours, that is Bhagavad Gita, is telling Arjuna, worships me by his intelligence. So we are worshipping Krishna how? By studying Bhagavad Gita and by applying Bhagavad Gita. That is higher form of worship to Krishna. So Madhyaji, worship. And the fourth thing Krishna says is Mam Namaskuru, that you offer obeisances unto me. You offer pranams to me. So four things. How to be free from all pangs of this material world? Matmana, Madbhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru. Or if you see from the lower level to how to go to the highest level, that first offer obeisances and then worship Krishna. If you are offering obeisances and if you are worshipping Krishna, naturally one becomes a devotee of Krishna, Madhbhakta. And when one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one is always thinking of Krishna. Then what is the result? Mam evashyasi yuktevam. He has said in this material world it is anityam and asukham. But those who are doing these four things, he is mame vashyasi. He will certainly come to me. Yuktevam, because he is connected to me. How is the connection? Connection is through service. Through service. And he will come to me. Why? Because he is Atmana Matparayana. Because he is a soul who is connected to me. This is the connection. So how is the connection? The connection is through performing devotional service. The one who is performing devotional service, he is not in this material world. He is already in the spiritual world. The one who is in the spiritual world, for him there is no miseries. I have given this example so many times. Even if the embassy of US is in Indian state, no rule and regulation of India can apply in the US embassy. Can the Indian police enter the US embassy? They have no right. Can the Indian military enter the US embassy? No, they cannot enter. Even after being in India, the rules and regulations of India is not applicable there. So similarly, one who is performing devotional service, under the guidance, under the instructions, he is already into the spiritual platform. And one who is on the spiritual platform, for him there is only bliss. There is not a out of suffering. He is freed from the suffering. Okay, so let us see how much we can discuss the purport. I will take this purport. Very, very important section of Bhagavad Gita. This is the final two verses of ninth most confidential knowledge. First, Krishna has said this is anityam and it is asukham. So don't try to break your head with the rock. The rock will not break, your head will break. Okay. So try to see that you don't smash your head with the rock. So what we have to do? We have to perform devotional service. What will happen? The rock will get dissolved. Krishna, when he was working on the Govardhan, Govardhan became so elated, it started to melt. Many places in Govardhan we find the footprints of Krishna. We went to that temple, Radha Damodar. That Shila was there. When Sanatan Goswami saw Lord Krishna standing on Govardhan, Govardhan started to melt. And the footprints of Krishna was imprinted on that Govardhan Shila. So Krishna gave that Shila. He said, Baba, you don't have to go around the hill. 20 miles, you just do parikrama of this Shila. That is sufficient for you. So similarly, Brahmaji says that one who has taken shelter of this Supreme Lord, that the entire material world becomes as small, as significant as the calf's hoof print. You have seen a calf? The baby of a cow is called a calf. And the calf has a hoof, small hoof. And when the hoof is placed on the ground, there are some imprints. So if there is water in that imprint, how big is this? It is very minuscule. So one can cross that. So the entire material world becomes as insignificant as the portion of the calf's hoof print. And those who do not take shelter of Krishna, for him this material world is Davagni. You know Davagni? It is an ocean of fire. Can anyone cross the ocean? However expert the swimmer he may be. If he enters into the water, what will be the result? Ultimately, he'll be exhausted and drowned. So here, very important, Krishna is saying one who does these four things. So for us, practically, we must do these four things. First thing, very simple. Like Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He says, first thing what you do is, Mam Namaskuru. Offer obeisances. Every day we should offer obeisances. We went to the places of Goswamis in Radha Kund, you remember? Where we sang Shad Goswami Ashtaka. I spoke about Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, he was offering every day 1,000 obeisances to the Supreme Lord. Dandavat, 1,000 by counting, and 2,000 to devotees. In our case, what happens? Not even one or two. It requires humility. Why we will bow down? Because we accept Krishna as the master. But what we are thinking, our mind is thinking, why should I bow down? Others should bow down to me. So that is false pride. So how to begin? How to begin the progress? By first offering obeisances, then offering worship to Krishna. How do we offer worship to Krishna? By studying Bhagavad Gita and by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if we start doing these two things, Krishna will consider us to become his devotee, Mad Bhakto. And as we become his devotee, what we will think? We will not think of our own interest. We will think of Krishna's interest. This is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. Who is a devotee? Who is always prominently thinking of Krishna's interest. And who is a non-devotee? Who is never thinking of Krishna's interest. He is thinking himself separate, distinct from Krishna. So he is always in Maya. He is always in illusion. Okay. I will discuss this first next time because there is a lot to discuss. So these four things we must start from our life very early, immediately. Namaskuru, Madhyaji, Madhbhakta, and then finally coming to the question of Manmana. Previously, Krishna has already spoken. Mai eva mana adhatsava, mai buddhi niveshya. A very high level of devotion. That always thinking about Krishna's interest. So how to begin? Krishna is giving the solution here. Okay. So I'll stop here. Next time I will discuss 34. That will be the final word and I will review the full chapter. Okay. So if you have any questions, queries, doubts, please ask. You have a question? Sit and ask. Sit and ask. Be there.
How was perform 1,000 opulences?
Not opulences, obeisances.
Perform 192 and had to
Because he was a spiritual person and we are material person. That is the difference. A spiritual person means who is thinking he is not this body, he is not this mind. His false ego is transformed to Really. Understand? So you can perform. Like, I'll tell you, how many rounds you are able to chant every day?
3.
3, 2. And devotees are chanting how many? Huh? No, even more. Last 4 days I was in Govardhan. With our spiritual association, we were every day chanting more than 60 people. 70, 80, 90, even reaching 100. So how it looks to you? Is it possible for you? If I give you 24 hours and tell you there is nothing else, you will get sufficient food, drink, whatever you want, you chant 50 rounds. It will not be possible. Will it be possible? So it will require practice. And it will require spiritual elevation. As you will spiritually progress, then it will become possible. Not now, not at this stage. As the stage advances, it becomes possible. Krishna says, Satatam Kirtayantam. We read that in the 8th chapter. Krishna is saying, one has to chant constantly. That is possible. But that is possible in spiritual consciousness, not in material consciousness. So as the consciousness will become spiritual, it will become purified. You are hearing? It will become possible. Because he was able to see Paramatma in everyone's heart. So naturally, what he will do? Perform obeisances. What we are able to see in others' heart? Huh?
Others are not us.
We see envy in others' heart. We see hatred in others' heart. So how we can perform obeisances? So we have to purify the heart. If the heart becomes pure, then it will become possible. So that is why application is required. If you don't apply, change will not be there. And if the change is not there, you will not be able to experience the spiritual potency. Some glimpse you got, na? You try here to wake up at 4 at your house. You put 1 or 2, 3, 4 alarms. What will be the result? Will you be able to wake up? How you are waking up there? Huh? Why? How? Because of the spiritual potency. Here first, my dear, first here. That is what I am saying. That is why we call you to come with us for yatra, to be able to see what is spiritual potency. You experienced, you wrote, some of you wrote, that you got a glimpse of what is spiritual life. When you come to this spiritual platform, then you can do so many more things which you cannot even imagine. Then the unlocking of the soul happens. At the material level, the soul is locked. Its potency and power is not released or manifested at all. It remains submerged. So as we will become spiritual, you have to chant. Out of 24 hours, dedicate at least 2 hours. If you dedicate 2 hours, you will see your efficiency of remaining 22 hours will go high. Will you do that? Huh? It is to be seen. How much you do actually. So see, this is what Krishna is recommending. Krishna is saying, Imam prapasya bhajasva. If you have been pushed into this material world, then how to come out of this suffering state? We must perform devotional service. What is the difficulty? Difficulty is your brother. Why you are looking at him? What is the difficulty? The desire is not there. Desire is not there. The seed is, the root is that the desire to do service is not there. Why? Because the desire is there to become Swami, is to become master. It's not to serve, but to receive service from others. So that change has to happen. And how that change will come? When you will chant. Okay? Very good. So we should have aspiration. Very good. We should have aspiration that one day I would also want to become like Raghunath Das Goswami. Mam Namaskuru. So if we can do Namaskaru, then we can do Madhyaji. then we can worship Krishna. And if we can worship Krishna and we perform Namaskaru, then we can become devotee of Krishna. And when we become devotee of Krishna, we can think of Krishna. And then Krishna is saying, Mam evashyasi, then such a person will always come to me. Yukteva, he will always be connected to me. Because he is Atmana Mat Parayana. He is situated on the spiritual platform and he is Mat Parayana. He is always under my shelter. He is all that should be the goal. Because everything in this material world will be just only for an goal. Date of manufacture and date of expiry is there. But this is what is eternal. What is eternal? Devotional service. If you subscribe to devotional service, then you, your life, and your destination becomes glorious. Hare Krishna. Thank you. What is your question? Huh? No, you're not clear. You're still playful. You're not serious. What is material world? Material world is a place of suffering. Krishna is speaking here. Isn't it? So you want to suffer or you want to be free from suffering? Huh? So what is the solution? What Krishna is the solution? Huh? And what you are doing in the class? For 1 year you are speaking about the solution only. This is so extraordinary about Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives the diagnosis, the disease, and he also gives the remedy and solution. What is the solution? You know the solution. What is the solution? Huh? Speak a little louder and clearer. What is the solution? Then you have to perform devotional service. So you help him to perform devotional service. That is what is, brotherly relation. If you are actual brothers, you help him to be free from suffering, and he helps you to be free from suffering either. Here, then there is brotherhood. Then one comes to the service of other, helps the other to be free from suffering. That is what relationship is. And the basis is Krishna. Then that relationship is glorious. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Oh, not. He is very smart. Chalu. You have to chant, my dear. Then the purification of the heart will happen. Hare Krishna.